Guys, look at this. We had no time to prepare. I tried to save my car. It was floating away. My neighbors, it was, oh my God, look at this. This came out of nowhere. Absolutely nowhere. This right there is a 8-foot wall. Car infested Flamboyant Drive. Everyone's vehicle is covered. My vehicle floating away. What? My neighbor and them all flooding. Help! We need, look at the iron, the bridge.
We say pray for us, sir. This has never happened in my lifetime. The river by my home has literally overflooded its banks. So my car is here, and this is like, bro, this literally happened in the space of minutes. I literally just came home from church, and like there was barely any rain, and now look at my car is being moved, the car in the back.
This is the situation at Caribou right now. The place is flooding. There's sparks in the water. The guests were evacuated from the Caribou.
So the scenes in many communities on the northern side of St. Lucia on a Sunday, a quick turn of events which led to flooding, land slippage, and millions in losses. Still, we're doing the assessment to quantify the exact extent, but many St. Lucians still coming to grips with exactly what happened. Many are still asking and in search for some help. The St. Lucia Red Cross is always one of the first to respond and to provide assistance in the immediate aftermath of such disasters. And the friend of the show, the head of the St. Lucia Red Cross, Mr. Hubert Pierre, is already standing by on the floor video line. I'll bring him on in just a bit. But this incident, this weather system over the weekend, comes just as negotiators gather in Egypt. Climate change negotiators gather in Egypt, and a warning this morning from the UN Secretary General that the climate is sending us clear signals and clear warnings. We have contributed through greenhouse gas emissions to the warming of our climate, and that has resulted in sea level rise. Who is on the front end of this? Us in islands like St. Lucia, small island developing states known as SIDS. We don't contribute much to climate change. Our level of greenhouse gas emissions minimal, but we suffer most when events like we saw last Sunday happen. So it's climate change in focus on our front line we experienced last Sunday. Mr. Pierre, good morning, sir. Thanks for always coming on. Thanks for waking up early.
Yeah, pleasant good morning to you and to all listeners. And yeah, I've been up very early, and we have to move because you have a number of things you want to get done today.
Yes. What have you done thus far in the immediate aftermath of last Sunday's Trough in as far as providing assistance to the affected communities?
Well, we have provided cleaning kits and hygiene kits and blankets to people in Mac, first of all, which was the first place that we went, and we are working into Corinth. We have already started distributing the same non-food items within Corinth, and today we continue our assessments. Because ours is, the response is not do assessment and go back. We actually go in with some stuff. Excellent. Because we have understood what has happened. Excellent. And our response has been immediate. As soon as we heard, normally in times past, maybe the very Sunday afternoon would be out there, but give and take, waiting for the water to recede and all the other things that go with it, we were able to start our distributions and our assessments simultaneously yesterday morning. Yeah.
Excellent news. We'll talk about the plan for today and moving forward. But what's your assessment on the ground? How bad is it? How much are people suffering at this time?
Well, people will always suffer as long as they have been impacted, and they need the support, they need the help, and that we understand, and we try to do our very best under the given circumstances. Like as I said, we are moving, we are working assiduously to ensure that we reach every man that has been affected. Yeah.
Excellent. How strong is your team? Today you continue in Corinth and you hope to head further north, I assume. Mr. Pierre is still with us?
Yeah, we are back. We are back.
Excellent. I was asking how strong is your team of volunteers? I know you continue in Corinth today and you hope to head further north later on. We seem to be having some communication challenges. Lost Mr. Hubert Pierre, but he will rejoin us momentarily from the St. Lucia Red Cross. So far, they have donated sanitary kits and providing assistance in Mark and other communities. Mr. Pierre is back.
Yeah,
I was asking you, how strong is your team of volunteers and what's the schedule for today and the upcoming days?
Okay, the fact is that the strength of our volunteers lie with the fact that myself, who have been there for 30-something years, on the ground with them, I'm not in St. Lucia, nor is the Director General, but the volunteers are on the field. And we have those coming from Bexon, from Ancillary, to support, those from Castries who would go and do what they're doing. So as a matter of fact, we'll continue our work. As I said, we'll leave no stone unturned until we reach the final man who needs something. We are going to review as time from time. I should be back in country later this week, and we'll bolster anything else that we need to do.
Excellent. Thanks for that clarification. People requiring assistance, how can they get in touch with your offices?
There are two things that they can do. If they can call the office and give their names and their addresses, and we usually take it up from there. The reason being because now is a time where each and every, the greedy, the thief, the crooked, would come and say, I lost my house. But we eyeball certain things. That's why we work by survey. Yeah. If you have a problem, you have an immediate need, or we have missed you or passed you or recognized you were there, call the office and we'll get back to you immediately.
Excellent, excellent. When we take a look at, and I know you're not here, but when we take a look at a lot of the videos, we see pounds and we see pounds of garbage, litter, refuse coming down with the water. How much does our indiscriminate garbage practices, garbage disposal practices contribute to intensities of weather systems like we saw on the weekend?
Well, it may be about 30 or 40% as far as that is concerned, given a percentage. But generally, the problem with St. Lucia is that we don't look at the history profiles that we have and make critical decisions. And I say this to enable us to save human lives. Because right now we construct houses in known riverbeds in a valley. So the valley is surrounded with the mountain. The rivers have been there. All the river wants is a whole lot of water, like a sudden downpour like we had last week. That's all the river wants, for it to swell again. So if your house is in the riverbed, you know what's going to happen. It can even be on the bank. Then you're going to get flooded. So the history will show us that areas which have been constructed in riverbeds and around, these are they that get flooded. And I'm really sorry about this, because we have, in other places we tell people build on stilts, but don't build downstairs. But many people in St. Lucia, they build downstairs in these given areas because they need a form of income. And this is what is happening.
Yeah, our bad practices. But finally, as we wrap up, help is on the way through the St. Lucia Red Cross for people who have not seen or heard from your teams as yet.
Yeah, help is on the way. Help is definitely on the way. As I said, we will continue to help persons all throughout this week who are in need. And I should be back in town on Friday morning early enough, so I would be on the field instantly.
Yeah.
So I will review matters with some volunteers and go back and see what's needed. I expect bedding to be needed, but again, there we are. We cannot just give mattresses. I have to prove that you have lost your mattress rather than using the situation to gain a mattress.
Yeah, we'll touch base with you again when you return on island. But still some weeks left till the Atlantic hurricane season winds down. What say you finally to our people here on the mainland?
Like I said last week, or the last time we spoke, that we need to remain vigilant. It's not a matter of hurricane. It's not even a matter of storm. Right now, what we had again was a trough with a wave, and we saw the downpour. And that is extremely dangerous. A few years ago, we asked that the language of the meteorological office be changed and make it as basic as possible. If you hear trough is rain, if you hear wave is rain, if you live in a low-lying area, you should have known that you're in a riverbed, so you can expect the worst. But what we saw on Sunday was really unexpected. We never expected this. And of course, it's just a weather forecast. And the concentration of rain was such that it fell in that given area. Even the Darren Sammy cricket ground got, flooded, and that speaks to a number of things.
It speaks to a number of things. Mr. Pierre, always nice speaking to you. We'll chat again soon.
Yeah, okay. It's a pleasure here. You take care and have a nice day.
Excellent. The St. Lucia Red Cross is on the ground, and if you haven't seen them by now, help is on the way. They have visited the community of Mark in Bexar, providing sanitary kits and providing initial relief supplies to affected residents. Mark was devastated by the floodwaters and some landslides in Mark as well. Yesterday they were in the Corinth area, and they will be in Corinth again, distributing supplies to affected households. There are numbers that you can call to contact the St. Lucia Red Cross and to report distress cases with them. We'll share these numbers as we conclude the program and as we go on this morning. But help is definitely on the way. Many St. Lucians have registered losses and are seeking for assistance. The St. Lucia Red Cross have been providing assistance, and they will continue. So we look forward to the updates from them. From the government end of things, the Prime Minister has said that he will do what is necessary to ensure the country bounces back. We await the specifics. We also know that calls have gone out to regional and international partners for help, but in the immediate aftermath, St. Lucians are asking what is going to be done. The St. Lucia Red Cross says help is on the way. Again, as we highlighted yesterday, the flooding really brought to the surface poor garbage disposal practices. You live near a river, we continue to see people just throwing litter out the windows, into the river courses, fridges, old stoves, pieces of furniture, everything coming down in the water course. I could tell you on Sunday I saw firsthand at least 2 refrigerators entering the Castries Harbor with tons and tons of litter accompanying these pieces of equipment. So St. Lucians, we really have to do better with our garbage disposal practices. Use the litter bins. You use something, take the wrappers home with you, take the empty bottles home with you. Don't just throw it away. The garbage won't disappear. It will compound the situation by clogging the drains and clogging the waterways. So let's continue to practice proper disposal practices and to improve in that regard. Also, questions are surfacing this morning and overnight on the silting program, which is normally undertaken by the Ministry of the Infrastructure. Citizens are asking for an update on the desilting and debushing program, which normally forms part of preparatory plans ahead of the Atlantic hurricane season. How many rivers have been desilted? Many questions are being asked, and we await the update from the officials. But we are in the Atlantic hurricane season. The prediction is that it would have been a busy hurricane season. It is living up to those predictions thus far. We're not out of the woods just yet. Few more weeks to go before the Atlantic hurricane season winds down. So continue to practice safety and continue to do what is necessary to be prepared. We hope for the best, but in these circumstances, we always prepare for the worst. Our hearts go out to our friends in the neighboring islands. Dominica severely impacted as well. Next, we journey over there to talk about the political developments. We'll also speak about the impact of the storm. This is Good Morning St. Lucia, your new course to discourse, your morning cup of tea. Stay with us. We'll run a few more moments of that footage which highlights climate change at our doorsteps here in the small island developing states. Thanks for staying with us. Our time just about 7:34. At 26 minutes before 8 o'clock, we go up until 9. And next, we go over to the Nature Isle, Dominica, where the Prime Minister, Honorable Roosevelt Skerrit, has called general elections some 2 years plus ahead of the constitutionally due deadline. Stay with us next. We continue the discussion here on Good Morning St. Lucia.
Ooh la la! See what's new at Quartz. We've got great deals on living and dining room sets, appliances, electronics, and smart devices, and more. Shop today with no cash using Quartz Ready Finance, 3 to 48 months.